Hey, good morning, friends. Welcome to another episode of Dr. Sachin's podcast. This time, we are continuing our discussion of non Hodgkin's lymphoma. In the previous podcast, we looked at few entities in non Hodgkin's lymphoma. This time, we are going to discuss two more entities. One is diffuse large B cell lymphoma, and second is anaplastic large cell lymphoma. But first things first. This week, the Olympic fever reached new heights in India when P. Sindhu reached finals in Rio Olympics. Social media was abuzz with inspiring and intelligent tweets and quotes about sports and women in India. And well-deserved praise was there for P. Sindhu when she went down fighting against Marine and claimed a silver medal for India. When I watched the Fast and Furious game being played, I was amazed.
After the resumption, breaking away to an 18-13 lead before Van leveled the score again to make it 18-all. The Hyderabadi though kept her nerve to win the last 3 points and pull off a stunning upset, winning the second game 21-18.
It was amazing, right? This was in great contrast. But friends, this was in great contrast to what we Indians are used to see in badminton. See this. Funny, isn't it? That's the speed with which we used to play badminton, but these girls are really fast. And all the best to P. Sindhu for future. So that was the highlight of the week. Now coming back to the serious business, that is non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. As I said, we'll be starting with a look at the confusing classification of non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, which we need to study in detail. And after that, we have to begin with diffuse large B cell lymphoma, which is the most common lymphoma in Western countries. It is extranodal in 40% of cases, 60% in HIV and AIDS. It is a high-grade aggressive lymphoma, potentially curable with modern therapy. It's a heterogeneous neoplasm comprising of 5 variants and 3 subtypes. The major variants are 2, that is centroblastic and immunoblastic. Additional variants include the T-cell rich lymphoma, anaplastic diffuse large B-cell lymphoma and plasmablastic diffuse large B-cell lymphoma. Additional subtypes are 3, that is mediastinal, intravascular and effusion lymphoma. Immunophenotype is like this: CD19, CD20, CD22 and CD79A are positive, CD30 can be positive or negative, Ki67 is positive in 40 to 90% cases. In the first variant, that is centroblastic, it either arises de novo or by transformation of low-grade lymphoma. It has better prognosis. It consists of centroblast-like or centrocyte-like cells, which are CD10 positive and BCL6 positive. BCL2 can be positive or negative. The second variant, that is immunoblastic variant, arises de novo or following autoimmune disease. It has worse prognosis. It contains immunoblast-like cells and activation markers immunoglobulin M and immunoglobulin G are positive. There is HLA-DR positivity. MUM1 and IRF4 are positive. CD138 is positive. BCL2 can be positive or negative. EBV is associated with cases developing in HIV and AIDS. Now this is a picture of diffuse large B-cell lymphoma from Web Pathology, a beautiful website by the way. Centroblastic variant of diffuse large B-cell lymphomas is composed of cells that resemble their normal counterparts in a reactive germinal center. There is an admixture of cleaved and non-cleaved cells of medium to large size. And how are the nuclei? The nuclei may be small, irregular and angulated, or nuclei can be oval, circular with multiple small nucleoli. How is cytoplasm? Cytoplasm is scant. What about mitotic figures? Mitotic figures are numerous and apoptotic cells are also present. So this is a picture of centroplastic variant of diffuse large B-cell lymphoma. Now coming to next entity, that is anaplastic large cell lymphoma. We have to remember that it is a disease of children and young adults. It is a disease of boys or males affected, who are affected more commonly. What about lymph nodes? Peripheral lymph nodes are affected. Extranodal sites, yes, commonly involved. Prognosis relatively good. Lymph node effacement can either be partial or complete. If there is partial effacement, involvement is in the paracortical or sinusoidal areas. In the classical variant, what we get? We get cohesive cell cords and sheets. How are cells? Cells are large and anaplastic. What about nuclei? Nuclei are pleomorphic, bizarre and wreath-like. Wreath-like is the characteristic of these nuclei. What about nucleoli? They are prominent. Mitosis, numerous, and even atypical mitosis are present. What about other variants? There is lymphohistiocytic variant, there is a small cell variant, and there are some other uncommon variants also. Then coming to the cell lineage. Cell lineage is of T cell or null cell type. Immunophenotype shows CD30 positivity and ALK positivity. As far as molecular abnormalities are concerned, ALK abnormalities are present. Translocation between 2 and 5 is present. Monoclonal T cell receptor gene rearrangement is also present. And coming to the picture from web pathology again, anaplastic large cell lymphoma, which is a T cell neoplasm that may occur in aggressive systemic form or an indolent primary cutaneous form. The tumor is composed of highly atypical pleomorphic cells scattered in polymorphic background of neutrophils, lymphocytes and histiocytes. The tumor cells often have multiple and horseshoe-shaped nuclei with prominent nucleoli. So sometimes it can also be confused with carcinoma or Hodgkin's lymphoma. So this is anaplastic large cell lymphoma. So in this podcast we discussed only two entities, that is diffuse large B cell lymphoma and anaplastic large cell lymphoma. It is a brief podcast and hopefully this will stimulate residents to read more about lymphomas. The good book for lymphomas are of course Iochim's Lymph Node Pathology and as well as Washington Manual, where a brief summary is given in a nice way. So hope this podcast was of some use to you. So this is Dr. Sachin Kale signing off from his podcast. Thank you and see you again.